Colorado is hiding secrets that will completely change how you see this state. From a chicken that lived without a head for over a year, to a town that literally has no name, we're counting down 50 wild facts that prove Colorado is way stranger than you ever imagined. Trust me, number 1 will blow your mind. Starting off at number 50, Colorado absolutely dominates when it comes to towering mountain peaks. This state has a whopping 58 14ers, which are mountain peaks that soar above 14,000 feet in elevation. No other state in America even comes close to matching that number. These massive peaks aren't just scattered around either. They form some of the most challenging and beautiful hiking destinations in the entire country. Climbers and adventurers travel from all over the world just to conquer these giants, and Colorado has more of them than anywhere else in the United States. At number 49, here's something that will shock people who think Colorado is just a frozen winter wonderland. This state actually enjoys more than 300 days of sunshine every single year. That makes Colorado one of the sunniest states in America, despite its reputation for heavy snow and cold weather. So while everyone pictures Colorado as this snowy mountain state, the reality is you're getting sunshine almost every day of the year. That combination of snow and sun is exactly what makes it such an incredible place for outdoor activities. You can ski in the morning and sunbathe in the afternoon. Coming in at number 48, the Colorado River is doing some serious heavy lifting for America. This single river provides drinking water to over 40 million people spread across 7 states and even reaches down into Mexico. That's roughly 1 out of every 8 Americans depending on this water source. Without the Colorado River, major cities like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Phoenix would struggle to exist in their current form. The river's water rights and distribution have created some of the most complex legal battles in American history. We're talking about a river that literally sustains the entire southwestern United States. At number 47, Grand Mesa holds a title that sounds impossible, but it's completely real. This is the world's largest flat-top mountain, spanning over 500 square miles at an elevation of more than 10,000 feet. Imagine a mountain that's just flat on top for hundreds of square miles. The mesa is so massive that it contains over 300 lakes on its surface. People actually drive up there and go fishing on top of a mountain. The views from the edges are absolutely breathtaking, and the whole geological formation defies what most people think a mountain should look like. Number 46 brings us to something that feels almost magical. Colorado has over 30 natural hot springs scattered throughout the state, with temperatures ranging from a comfortable 90 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to a scorching 130 degrees. These aren't man-made pools. This is nature creating its own spa. These hot springs have been used for thousands of years, first by Native Americans and later by settlers seeking their healing properties. Today you can soak in naturally heated mineral water while surrounded by snow-covered mountains. It's one of the most relaxing experiences you can have, and Colorado has more options than most states combined. At number 45, Colorado punches way above its weight when it comes to national parks. Despite being just one state, it's home to 4 of the nation's 58 national parks. We're talking Rocky Mountain, Mesa Verde, Great Sand Dunes, and Black Canyon of the Gunnison, each one completely unique and spectacular. Each of these parks protects wildly different landscapes and ecosystems. You've got ancient cliff dwellings, massive sand dunes, deep canyons, and alpine wilderness, all within one state. Most states don't even have one national park, and Colorado is sitting here with 4 of the most incredible ones in the country. Coming in at number 44, the sheer number of high peaks in Colorado is absolutely mind-blowing. The state contains over 1,000 Rocky Mountain peaks that exceed 10,000 feet in elevation. That's not a typo. We're talking about more than 1,000 peaks that are higher than most mountains in other states. This concentration of high elevation terrain creates an environment unlike anywhere else in the lower 48 states. The air is thinner, the weather is more extreme, and the views go on forever. Having over 1,000 peaks above 10,000 feet means Colorado has more high-altitude terrain than entire mountain ranges in other parts of the country. At number 43, Great Sand Dunes National Park has something that seems completely out of place in Colorado. These are the tallest sand dunes in all of North America, reaching heights of over 750 feet. Picture dunes taller than a 75-story building, surrounded by snow-capped mountains in the background. The contrast is surreal because you can literally go sandboarding down massive dunes with the Rocky Mountains looming behind you. These dunes formed over thousands of years as sand and sediment collected against the mountains. It looks like someone dropped a piece of the Sahara Desert right into the middle of Colorado. Number 42 reveals why Colorado feels different the moment you arrive. The state's mean elevation is 6,800 feet above sea level, making it the highest average elevation of any U.S. state. Every breath you take in Colorado is literally at a higher altitude than anywhere else in America on average. This high elevation affects everything from how fast water boils to how quickly you get tired when you first visit. Athletes actually train in Colorado specifically because the thin air forces their bodies to adapt and become more efficient. The entire state sits at an elevation that would be considered high altitude almost anywhere else. At number 41, Colorado takes weather to a whole new level of unpredictable. The state experiences all 4 seasons distinctly, and sometimes you can literally see all 4 seasons in a single day. Morning might bring spring sunshine, afternoon could bring summer heat, evening might feel like fall, and night could dump winter snow. This isn't an exaggeration either. People who live in Colorado keep winter jackets in their cars year-round because you genuinely never know what the weather will do. The rapid elevation changes and mountain weather patterns create these wild swings that can catch even longtime residents off guard. Mother Nature keeps everyone on their toes here. Coming in at number 40, Denver can claim credit for inventing one of America's most beloved foods. The cheeseburger was invented right here in Denver in 1935 by a guy named Louis Ballast at the Humpty Dumpty Drive-In. Before this moment, burgers existed, but nobody had thought to add cheese. Louis trademarked the name cheeseburger, and the rest is delicious history. Think about how many billions of cheeseburgers have been eaten since 1935, and they all trace back to this one Denver restaurant. Colorado basically gave the world one of its favorite comfort foods, and most people have no idea it started here. At number 39, Colfax Avenue in Denver holds a record that surprises almost everyone who hears it. This street stretches over 50 miles, making it the longest continuous commercial street in all of America. You could drive down Colfax for nearly an hour and still be on the same street. The street has witnessed basically all of Denver's history, from its Wild West days to its modern transformation. Colfax has been featured in songs, movies, and countless stories about Denver's evolution. It's seen everything from saloons to tech startups, all along one incredibly long stretch of road that just keeps going and going. Number 38 marks a moment when Colorado made history and changed America forever. In 2012, Colorado became the very first state to legalize recreational marijuana through a popular vote. This wasn't politicians making the decision, this was everyday people voting to make it happen, and the rest of the country watched closely. The vote shocked the nation and started a domino effect that continues today. Other states looked at Colorado's example and started their own legalization efforts. What began as a controversial Colorado experiment has now spread across America, with billions in tax revenue funding schools and infrastructure. Colorado took the leap first and proved it could work. At number 37, we're going way back to the Old West for this one. The world's first rodeo was held in Deer Trail, Colorado on July 4, 1869. Cowboys gathered to compete and show off their skills, and they accidentally invented an entire sport and cultural phenomenon that defines the American West. That original rodeo was just a bunch of ranch hands betting on who was the best cowboy, but it launched something huge. Today, professional rodeo is a multi-million-dollar industry, and it all traces back to that first competition in tiny Deer Trail. Colorado can claim it started one of the most American sports ever created. Coming in at number 36, Mesa Verde National Park protects something absolutely remarkable. Over 600 cliff dwellings were built by ancestral Puebloans between 600 and 1300 AD. These aren't just ruins. These are sophisticated multi-story stone structures built right into the sides of cliffs, some over 700 years old. The engineering and architecture these ancient people achieved without modern tools is mind-blowing. They built entire communities in cliff faces, with rooms, kivas, and defensive positions all carefully constructed. Walking through these dwellings today feels like stepping back in time, and they remain some of the best preserved ancient ruins in North America. At number 35, Colorado did something that no state has done before or since. It's the only state in history to turn down the honor of hosting the Olympics. In 1976, Colorado voters rejected hosting the Winter Games due to cost and environmental concerns, and the Olympics went to Austria instead. Imagine being offered the Olympics and saying no thanks. Colorado voters looked at the price tag and the environmental impact and decided it wasn't worth it. Today, with what we know about how expensive the Olympics are and how they often burden host cities with debt, Colorado's decision looks pretty smart in hindsight. Number 34 shows Colorado takes state pride to a whole new level. The dome of the state capitol building is covered in real gold leaf, and it's not just any gold. This gold came specifically from Colorado gold mines, connecting the building directly to the state's mining heritage and golden history. The dome has been re-gilded several times over the years, and each time they use Colorado gold to maintain that connection. You can see it shining from all over Denver, this brilliant golden dome that catches the sunlight and reminds everyone of the gold rush that helped build Colorado into what it is today. At number 33, the town of Aspen was once the richest silver mining town in all of America during the 1880s mining boom. Silver poured out of these mountains so fast that Aspen became fabulously wealthy, practically overnight. The town was swimming in silver money and living large during those boom years. Then the silver market crashed, and Aspen nearly became a ghost town, sitting quiet for decades. But the mountains that gave it silver eventually gave it something even more valuable in the modern era: world-class skiing. Today's Aspen is wealthy again, but now it's celebrities and billionaires instead of silver miners filling the streets. Coming in at number 32, Colorado is absolutely crushing it when it comes to craft beer. The state has more craft breweries per capita than any other state in the entire nation. We're talking about a beer culture so strong that you're never far from an excellent local brewery, no matter where you are. This isn't just about quantity either. Colorado breweries consistently win national and international awards for their beer. The combination of high altitude, pure mountain water, and a culture that embraces craft brewing has created the perfect storm for amazing beer. Colorado basically turned craft brewing into an art form and leads the country. At number 31, the Kit Carson County Carousel is a piece of living history. Built in 1905, it's one of the few all-wood carousels still operating in America today. This isn't some restored replica, this is the real deal. With hand-carved wooden animals that have been spinning for over a century, the craftsmanship on this carousel is absolutely stunning, with intricate details carved into every animal. Kids today ride the exact same horses and lions their great-great-grandparents rode. It still plays original band organ music, and for a small admission price, you can experience a piece of American history that most places lost long ago. Number 30 connects Colorado to one of America's most beloved songs. Pikes Peak inspired Catherine Lee Bates to write America the Beautiful in 1893 after she reached its summit. Standing at over 14,000 feet and looking out at the incredible view, she was moved to write words that would become part of our national identity. Those amber waves of grain and purple mountain majesties she wrote about, she was literally looking at them from the top of Pikes Peak. The view from up there is so spectacular that it inspired one of the most patriotic songs ever written. Every time someone sings America the Beautiful, they're sharing what Catherine saw from that Colorado mountaintop. At number 29, the Royal Gorge Bridge is not for people afraid of heights. This suspension bridge stands 955 feet above the Arkansas River, making it one of the highest suspension bridges in the entire world. Looking down from the middle of this bridge, the river below looks like a tiny ribbon cutting through the canyon. The bridge was built in 1929, and at the time it was the highest bridge in the world, period. Today you can walk across and feel the bridge sway slightly in the wind while you're almost 1,000 feet in the air. The view is absolutely spectacular, and the adrenaline rush of being up that high is unforgettable. Coming in at number 28, the Mount Evans Scenic Byway takes you higher than any other paved road in North America. This road reaches an incredible 14,130 feet in elevation. You can literally drive your regular car up to heights where most people need oxygen tanks and mountaineering gear. The views from up there are absolutely otherworldly because you're above the tree line, above most clouds, and can see for 100 miles in every direction. The air is so thin that your car struggles, your heart pounds, and you feel like you're on top of the world, because you basically are. At number 27, here's something that surprises almost everyone. Despite popular belief, Colorado actually receives more total snowfall annually than Alaska does. People think Alaska is the snow capital of America, but Colorado's high elevation and mountain weather patterns dump more snow overall. Alaska might be colder, but Colorado gets more snow. Colorado's ski resorts can see hundreds of inches of snow in a single season, with some areas getting over 400 inches. That's over 30 feet of snow stacking up over the course of winter. The mountains here are snow machines, and they produce more of the white stuff than people realize. Number 26 reveals Colorado's beer dominance goes beyond just craft breweries. Colorado produces more beer than any other state in America, with over 400 breweries pumping out incredible volumes. Major beer companies and tiny craft operations all call Colorado home, making it the beer capital of the nation. The combination of perfect water, altitude, and brewing culture has created an industry that employs thousands and attracts beer lovers from around the world. Beer tourism is a real thing in Colorado, with people planning entire vacations around visiting breweries. The state has turned beer into both an art and a science. At number 25, Denver International Airport is a giant among airports. It covers 53 square miles, making it the largest airport by land area in all of North America. You could fit Manhattan, San Francisco, and Miami Beach all inside this airport and still have room left over. It's absolutely massive. The airport is so big that it has its own train system just to get between terminals. Some of the runways are so long that you could land a space shuttle on them. The airport even has its own weather patterns because it's so large. Flying into Denver means landing at an airport bigger than many entire towns. Coming in at number 24, the Eisenhower Tunnel on Interstate 70 holds an impressive record. At 11,158 feet elevation, it's the highest vehicular tunnel in all of North America. You're literally driving through a mountain at an elevation higher than most mountains in other states reach at their peaks. So, the tunnel was an engineering marvel when it opened, blasting through solid rock at extreme elevation where workers struggled just to breathe. Today, over 30,000 vehicles pass through it daily, most drivers not realizing they're in one of the highest tunnels on Earth. It connects Denver to the ski resorts and shaves hours off mountain travel. At number 23, Colorado has a health statistic that stands out dramatically. The state consistently ranks as having the lowest obesity rate in the entire United States. Year after year, Colorado comes in at the bottom of the obesity rankings, which in this case is actually the top spot for health. The combination of high altitude, outdoor culture, and active lifestyle keeps Coloradans in great shape. People here hike, bike, ski, and generally move around more than the national average. The altitude alone burns more calories just from breathing. Colorado proves that environment and culture can have a massive impact on public health. Number 22 brings us to one of the most legendary concert venues in the world. Red Rocks Amphitheater near Denver has perfect natural acoustics due to its unique geological formation. The massive red sandstone rocks create a natural amphitheater, where sound bounces and carries in ways that engineers couldn't design better. Every major artist dreams of playing Red Rocks because the acoustics are so incredible and the setting is absolutely magical. The venue has been around since 1941, and countless legendary performances have happened on that stage. Watching a concert with those ancient red rocks rising around you and the stars above is an experience people never forget. At number 21, Colorado holds a world record that sounds completely made up, but it's totally real. The state has the U.S. record for the largest snowflake ever recorded, measuring 15 inches wide. This monster snowflake fell in 1887 and was bigger than a dinner plate. 15 inches across for a single snowflake is absolutely insane. To put that in perspective, most snowflakes are smaller than a quarter. This thing was bigger than a frisbee. The atmospheric conditions needed to create something that large are incredibly rare. Colorado's high elevation and unique weather patterns created the perfect storm for the biggest snowflake in American history to form and gently fall to Earth. Coming in at number 20, Colorado had a law that was so strange it made national headlines. Until recently, it was technically illegal to collect rainwater in Colorado due to complex water rights laws. That's right, rain falling from the sky onto your property couldn't legally be collected by you. The laws have since been updated, thankfully. The reasoning behind this bizarre law was that all water in Colorado technically belongs to someone who has water rights to it, even rain. The state's water laws are so complex because water is so precious in the West. Fortunately, common sense eventually prevailed, and homeowners can now collect rainwater for basic uses without breaking the law. At number 19, we've got one of the strangest stories in American history. The town of Fruita hosts an annual festival celebrating Mike the Headless Chicken, who lived for 18 months without a head back in the 1940s. Yes, you read that right. A chicken survived for a year and a half after being beheaded. A farmer tried to slaughter Mike for dinner, but the axe missed the jugular and left part of the brainstem intact. Mike just kept on living, eating, and drinking through a dropper. He became a national sensation, toured the country, and earned his owner thousands of dollars. Fruita celebrates this bizarre piece of history with a festival every year. Number 18 is about a town with the most honest name ever. Colorado has a real town called No Name, and it got its name because residents literally couldn't agree on what to call it. After arguing for years about what the town should be named, they just gave up and called it No Name. The name stuck, and now it's official. You can exit Interstate 70 at the No Name exit and visit the actual town of No Name, Colorado. It's small, it's quirky, and it represents peak Colorado weirdness. Sometimes the best solution to an unsolvable problem is to just embrace the absurdity and call it what it is. At number 17, Colorado's official state fossil connects to the age of dinosaurs. The Stegosaurus holds this honor because it was first discovered near Morrison, Colorado in 1877. This iconic dinosaur with the plates on its back and the spiked tail was first found right here in Colorado dirt. The Morrison Formation in Colorado has produced more dinosaur fossils than almost anywhere else on Earth. Paleontologists have been digging up incredible specimens here for over a century. The Stegosaurus discovery helped launch the great dinosaur rush of the late 1800s and put Colorado on the map for prehistoric discoveries. Coming in at number 16, the Climax Mine in Colorado produces something most people have never heard of but use every day. This mine produces more molybdenum than anywhere else on Earth. Molybdenum is used in steel alloys to make them stronger and more heat-resistant, and it's in everything from tools to buildings to aircraft. Without molybdenum, modern construction and manufacturing would be dramatically different. Colorado's Climax Mine supplies a huge portion of the world's molybdenum, making it crucial to global industry. Most people have no idea this mine exists, but they use products made with its materials every single day without realizing it. At number 15, Colorado has a working post office that operates at over 10,000 feet elevation in the town of Climax. This makes it one of the highest post offices in the entire world. The mail carriers and postal workers here operate in thin air, where most people struggle just to walk around normally. Delivering mail at this elevation comes with unique challenges, from altitude sickness to extreme weather, but the Postal Service keeps running because people need their mail no matter how high up they live. It's a testament to the dedication of postal workers and the reality that people really do live everywhere in Colorado. Number 14 reveals something surprising about Boulder, Colorado. This city has more Master Sommeliers per capita than anywhere else in the world. Master Sommelier is one of the hardest professional certifications to earn, with only a few hundred people in the world holding the title, and Boulder has a ridiculous concentration of them. The combination of Colorado's wine culture, elevation effects on taste, and Boulder's affluent foodie scene has created this unlikely hub of wine expertise. These Master Sommeliers work at top restaurants and teach others about wine at the highest level. Boulder has become an unexpected world center for wine knowledge and appreciation. At number 13, Casa Bonita in Lakewood is one of the most unique restaurants you'll ever visit. It's one of the largest Mexican restaurants in the world, featuring cliff divers who jump into a pool and a 30-foot waterfall right inside the restaurant. This place is absolutely bonkers and totally Colorado. The restaurant can seat over 1,000 people and has multiple themed areas, including caves and a puppet show. It's like a theme park and restaurant combined. Casa Bonita became famous nationwide after being featured on South Park, but locals have been loving this weird, wonderful place for decades. It's dinner and a show taken to the extreme. Coming in at number 12, the town of Fairplay keeps an Old West tradition alive with its annual burro racing championship. Burros were essential pack animals during the mining days, and racing them became a way for miners to blow off steam and settle disputes. The tradition continues today with serious competition. Competitors actually run alongside their burros through mountain terrain, which is exhausting at high elevation. The burros are stubborn and unpredictable, adding chaos to the race. It's a callback to Colorado's mining heritage, and a celebration of the tough little animals that helped build the state. Plus, it's hilarious to watch. At number 11, prepare to have your mind blown about Colorado's shape. The state is not actually a perfect rectangle like everyone thinks. Surveying errors in the 1800s created 697 corners instead of just 4. The borders zig and zag slightly due to mistakes made when they were originally surveyed with old equipment. These surveying errors are tiny, usually just a few hundred feet here and there, but they technically mean Colorado has hundreds of corners. The state looks like a rectangle on a map, but zoom in close enough and you'll see the borders aren't perfectly straight. It's a fun fact that destroys what everyone learned in elementary school. Number 10 has a specific and very cool claim to fame. The 13th step of the Colorado State Capitol is exactly 1 mile above sea level, at 5,280 feet elevation. They marked it with a special plaque, and it's become a must-visit spot for tourists wanting to stand exactly 1 mile high. Engineers actually had to recalculate this several times over the years as measuring technology improved, and they moved the marker a couple times to get it exactly right. Today, the 13th step is precisely 1 mile above sea level, verified by modern GPS. It's a perfect symbol of Colorado's high elevation and a popular photo opportunity. At number 9, Colorado produces Olympic athletes at an absolutely incredible rate. The state produces more Olympic athletes per capita than any other state in the U.S. The combination of high-altitude training, world-class facilities, and outdoor sports culture creates the perfect environment for developing elite athletes. Training at altitude gives athletes a huge advantage because their bodies adapt to lower oxygen levels, making them more efficient when competing at sea level. Colorado has become the go-to training location for Olympic hopefuls from around the world. The state's altitude is literally helping create champions and break records. Coming in at number 8, Colorado's dinosaur discoveries completely revolutionized paleontology. In the late 1800s, the first Stegosaurus and Allosaurus were both discovered here, along with countless other specimens. These finds helped scientists understand dinosaurs better and sparked public fascination with these ancient creatures that continues today. The bone wars between competing paleontologists played out in Colorado's rock formations, with rival teams racing to discover and name new species. These Colorado discoveries filled museums around the world and rewrote scientific understanding of prehistoric life. The state's geology perfectly preserved these ancient animals for millions of years, until humans could find them. At number 7, Colorado is literally the birthplace of some of America's most important rivers. 4 major U.S. rivers originate in Colorado, which are the Colorado, Arkansas, Rio Grande, and Platte rivers. The mountains here catch snow and rain that eventually flows to millions of people across multiple states. These rivers provide water for drinking, agriculture, and industry across the western United States and down into Mexico. Control of this water has shaped politics, economics, and development across the entire region for over a century. Colorado sits at the source of water that sustains much of the American West. Number 6 marks a geographic quirk that's absolutely unique. Colorado is one of only 4 states that meet at a single point at Four Corners Monument, along with Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. It's the only place in America where 4 state borders come together at one exact spot. You can literally stand in 4 states at once by putting your hands and feet in different quadrants. It's a popular tourist spot where people take silly photos standing in multiple states simultaneously. The monument marks the only 4-state intersection in the entire country, making it a unique piece of American geography. At number 5, Colorado was way ahead of the curve on women's rights. Colorado women gained the right to vote in 1893, a full 27 years before the 19th Amendment gave all American women voting rights in 1920. Colorado was only the 2nd state to grant women suffrage, showing progressive values long before they were popular. This early adoption of women's voting rights helped shape Colorado's political culture and gave women a voice in state affairs decades before most of the country. Colorado proved that women's suffrage could work and set an example that eventually the rest of the nation followed. The state was a leader in equality. Coming in at number 4, the U.S. Air Force Academy Chapel in Colorado Springs is one of the most photographed buildings in the entire United States. Its dramatic angular design with 17 spires reaching toward the sky is instantly recognizable and absolutely stunning. The architecture is bold, modern, and unlike any other religious building in America. The chapel serves multiple faiths with different worship spaces all under one roof, reflecting the diversity of the Air Force. The design represents aircraft and flight pointing heavenward, perfectly capturing the spirit of the Air Force. It's become an iconic symbol, not just of the Academy, but of Colorado Springs itself. At number 3, the town of Telluride achieved something remarkable that sounds too good to be true. It holds the distinction of having the first town in the world to provide free public transportation. The gondola system in Telluride costs nothing to ride and connects the town to the mountain resort above it. This free transportation system has been running for years and serves both locals and tourists without charging a single cent. The gondola offers spectacular views and solves the town's parking problems while being completely free. Telluride proved that public transportation can work when you make it accessible and convenient for everyone. Number 2 is all about Denver's famous nickname. The city is called the Mile High City, and they're not joking around about proving it. Denver has elevation markers throughout the city, showing exactly where you're standing 1 mile above sea level, including a special marker at Coors Field, where the seats at exactly 5,280 feet are purple. The altitude affects everything in Denver, from how fast you get drunk to how hard it is to breathe when you first arrive. Baseball games at Coors Field see more home runs because the thin air offers less resistance to flying balls. The entire city embraces its high elevation as a core part of its identity. And finally, at number 1, we've got the most mind-blowing geographic fact about Colorado. This state is the only U.S. state where every single drop of water flows out to other states. No rivers flow into Colorado from outside its borders. Every river that enters Colorado falls as rain or snow first. Colorado sits at such high elevation on the Continental Divide that all water naturally flows away from the state to lower elevations. Rivers born in Colorado feed the entire western United States and beyond, but nothing flows in. It's a perfect example of how Colorado sits at the top of America, literally sending life-giving water down to everyone else.